with me is Aysha Al Hemrani, an Emirati illustrator who has illustrated a number of books, and her books are actually available at the Sharjah International Book Fair. How are you doing, Aisha?
I'm doing well. I'm quite excited about the weekend.
I know. Same here, as usual. So let's jump right into it. I wanted to know, what got you, first of all, into illustration as a whole and then illustrating for books?
Well, I actually started to draw since I was a kid. I used to be attracted to raw material and like white pieces. So since then, I knew that I am a creator more than a user. So I started to be influenced by the cartoon characters that I used to watch, and decided to create my own characters that are reflecting what is happening around me. So mainly my inspiration is the environment that I'm living in. I've been active in social media since 2006, and this is how many people and entities approached me, including the executive office in Dubai, which was one of my favorite projects, illustrating the children's book of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and that was in 2013. Then I felt like, what should I do next after that? Because this is a huge project, and it's the illustrations and the book itself is part of the curriculum in the UAE schools. So I decided to do another book with Maryam Al-Qasimi, which is called Curious Adam in both English and Arabic, and it actually got a prize later on. Then I started to do sessions with Skill Lab, a company that is teaching participants new skills, including writing and creating a book, a children's book in specific. So I actually produced many books during these workshops, almost 3 workshops with them. So I think that was the reason why I published, or I illustrated many published books.
And can we say that you fell in love with illustrating books?
Well, actually, my dream was to be part of the collective minds in the region, and illustrating books is a huge part of that, because if you have your name in a book that has an ISBN, I mean, that's huge, because you're actually going to be part of the history, of the written history or the culture of this region. So the illustration of books is my way to communicate even with children, because I love art and children as well. So yes, indeed, or illustrating children's book is something that I admire, and I'm not planning to quit very soon.
And how easy is it, or how hard is it to collaborate with somebody? Because you are not, I don't think you're involved with the story as much as just taking that author's vision and trying to put it onto a page. It is similar to when somebody's reading a book and you imagine in your head, but you have the liberty to imagine whatever you want in your head. However, but you as an illustrator, you have to take that author's vision and you have to stick to it. But sometimes you have your own vision as well. You might disagree with them, you might agree. So is it easy? Is it hard? Or did you just get lucky so far with all the authors you have collaborated with?
Well, first of all, people approach me because they like the style. That is the main reason why they approach me as an illustrator of their books. So this is good, because we both agree that, we have a certain style and we can go forward with that. So I don't usually have much feedback from them unless it makes a point. And the second reason is the dynamic of Skill Lab workshops. They actually grant the illustrators the freedom to do their illustrations or work without interference of the author. That's one of the main terms of their workshops. So most of their products come with the freedom of the illustrator. Later on, when you approach a publishing house, they would usually give you realistic feedback, like change the color of this maybe spread or scene because the printing would be affected, etc. So I it wasn't a hard job actually to illustrate these books.
And how do you become a book illustrator, whether it's in the UAE or anywhere in the world? Like, I'd say I'm an artist and I have interest in pursuing the same thing as you are. How can I start off?
Well, I don't have like the exact playbook for that, to be honest, but when I was part of Skill Lab workshops, they actually got Kalimat Publishing House, which is based in Sharjah, to get their staff to educate us as illustrators. How do we approach the text? How do we chart for such things? And it was quite useful for us as illustrators. I think the starting point was a bit not the regular with the book of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. They approached me through social media, and this is how I started with my first and one of the major books. Later on with Curious Adam, it was with a friend of mine. And then we asked our professors in university, how can we start that? So it was quite new. And then we got the help of one of the publishing houses called Midad. And they were quite welcoming and awareing us as an illustrator and an author how to start. So my beginnings are quite irregular, and it's not the like a clear timeline. But I think if you approach those who are dealing with books, they will be more than happy to educate you on how can you start such projects.
And what can you tell those people as well who want to pursue this and they're a bit afraid or too scared? What can you tell them?
I mean, nothing is quite scary right now. You can always do like a small prototype with people using social media if you want to start something, and approach such training companies like Skill Lab, for example, which is SXILLLAB. That's their handle on Instagram. And they have successfully done more than one workshop where they actually take the illustrator to the right path to create this book along with the author. And I could say that most of them were immature illustrators and writers, but they successfully have been approached by official publishing houses. And as you have seen in Sharjah Book Fair 2020, that we have launched more than one book with them.
And do you feel that social media is a very important platform in launching such a career?
In my opinion, yes, especially for those who did not have the maybe the official education of arts, where they can actually connect and network with the community. It's never too late. So in my belief, Instagram or such platforms can actually grant you the access of the most prominent and global companies to get to know your artwork and approach you. Right now, I'm still learning how to approach even like other entities. But I think the beginning, the safe beginning for many people is through social media, because you can easily post anything you want and you'll be approached by everyone. And if you don't want to reveal who you are, or you want to test any of your work, you can do it safely and in an anonymous way.
And what's next for Aysha Al Hemrani?
I have many things in my plate, to be honest, currently. And I am part or a participant in Fursa School by Sharjah Art Foundation. I'm very keen to connect with the art community and the other participants there. They are going to train the emerging artists in UAE how to deal with the different topics, negotiation, how can we put a contract, how can we approach entities such as galleries or companies, using like the perfect minds who already went in that path. So that's the major thing that I'm working on, along with the fact that I am doing commissions these days, which is announced on my page.
Thank you so much, Aisha. That was such a delight speaking to you about your journey as an Emirati illustrator.
Thank you so much for your time, and I hope all of you enjoy whatever you do and you have the right community to help you out.
This is Pulse 95.